This video describes the programming and setup of the InnoTechRV tyre pressure monitoring system. Firstly, quick setup instructions are provided, and these should be followed for setting up your system. They're very easy to follow. Secondly, you should read the user and operating instructions, which provide good information on how the system works and how the alarms will alert you to any problems. The first thing you're going to do is install batteries in each of your sensors. Remove the cap from the sensor, just check that the O-ring is fully intact, and then taking one of your 1632 batteries with the plus sign up, insert it under the terminal there on the sensor and replace the cap. Do not over tighten, just firm. You're going to use the knurled bit here when you install the sensor onto your valve stem. Do not tighten onto the valve stem using your cap, as you may end up over tightening the cap on the sensor. The next thing you're going to do is take your monitor, press the center button to turn it on, and then place it into alignment mode by holding down the outside two buttons until it beeps and all 22 wheel positions appear. Carefully examine the 22 wheel positions on the monitor and select those positions that you're going to use to set up your RV that makes the most sense to you. You can choose any ones you like, but whichever pattern fits your RV or truck, that's what you're going to set your wheel sensors up on. Next, we're going to place the sensors on the wheels. Firstly, remove the dust cap, and then select the most appropriate wheel position for this particular wheel. In this case, we're selecting the front right-hand wheel on this truck. We take the sensor and we firmly screw it onto the wheel. Straight away you'll see the tyre pressure for that wheel appears on here. We then move to the next wheel that we're going to install a sensor on. This wheel is the right rear of the truck, so we continue scrolling through until we select that particular wheel position. As you can see here, that's flashing, and again we install the sensor onto that wheel. And straight away the tyre pressure for that wheel appears on the monitor. Continue doing that for all of the sensors that you have for your system, installing them in whichever wheel position makes the most sense. In this instance, I have installed 4 sensors on 4 tyres. Having completed that, I now take the monitor out of alignment mode by holding down the outside 2 buttons again until it beeps. And you'll see then that we now only are showing the 4 wheel positions that were actually programmed in with sensors. The next job we do is to put it into programming mode by holding down the center button until the unit beeps. And then we set the individual tyre pressures for each of those wheel positions. In this case, we have 65 psi on the front wheels, so I set the pressure to 65 psi on that one. I press the center button to move to the next tyre, and again I set 65 on this one. And I do the same with the rear tyres. In this case, these are each at 80 psi, normal cold tyre pressure. And then the next time I press the center button, the units for pressure will appear, and by pressing the left or right buttons I can scroll between different units: kPa, bar, PSI, which is what most people use. So I'm going to leave it on PSI. I press the button again, and now the units of temperature appear, either Fahrenheit or Celsius. And again I will leave it on Fahrenheit. I then hold down the center button again to take it out of programming mode. And the system is now ready to go. Once it has cleared the alarms that it had because it was on, it was showing low pressure according to the original pressure settings, as it has now, it will go back to this mode and it will just show the tyre positions that you have programmed into your unit. Should you have the need to remove a sensor, or if you have rotated your tyres and your sensors ended up out of order and you needed to realign again, you first have to delete the sensors from each of their positions. To do that, place the unit back into alignment mode, select the tyre position which you wish to delete the sensor from, and hold down the center button until the 3 dashes appear at the top. You can then move on to the other ones and do the same with those if you choose to do so. Once a sensor has been removed from the monitor, it can be reinstalled in any other position, but you cannot install a sensor into another position on the monitor if it is still programmed into the monitor. That procedure describes the full setup of the InnoTechRV tyre pressure monitoring system. As you can see, it is very easy to do and shouldn't take more than 5 minutes for a 4 to 10 wheel system. If you have any questions, please look up our website, InnoTechRV.com, and you will find our contact details on there if you have any problems. Please read all the instructions first before calling us, because all the instructions are there and are easy to follow. Thank you.